I've been writing in a language that I don't fully understand. It felt eerie. As I'm speaking, I'm still getting chills. Whoever died is dead. What is dead is dead. And then he told me, do you know what happened today? There was a war started between... What are the odds? It has made me question how much of what we do is truly conscious and how much is just waiting to be noticed. Hi, my name is Jane. I am a healer that tends to the physical, mental, emotional, and energetic bodies. I'm a part-time teacher. I've also come from a tech background, working in corporate for over 10 years. So this might sound a little bit strange, but I think this is the way it just needs to come out. For a while now, I've been writing in a language that I don't fully understand. Not consciously learning it. Not from textbook. It just started. I remember the first time it happened. I was just journaling like I always do, and suddenly I noticed the letters didn't look familiar. They weren't English. But they felt familiar in a weird way, and I didn't really question it so much because I doodle a lot. And it really just looked like innocent scribbles at the time. But over time, it started forming something consistent, and the more I flipped through, the more it looked like an actual script, like an actual language. This has been never something that I want to share. It felt a little bit too weird, like, who wants to be the person to say, hey look, I've been writing in another unknown language by accident. I was looking through and thinking, okay, if these are actual words, and I feel like they are, let me just try to figure out what some of these words mean. So I'd circle some of the parts in the passage and I'd write it in English, and some of the words, they made sense. It wrote time, boundaries, integration, quite heavy words, strangely relevant to the work that I do. So I thought maybe this is a language that I invented. This is just something that's channeling through me. Sometimes when I was with friends and just journaling through, I had a few friends notice and ask me, like, what is this that you're doing? And I tried to explain to the best of my abilities, but of course I didn't know how to explain it myself. I started to translate more and more, and it was quite fascinating subjects. It was very much science and spirituality. The concepts were sometimes beyond my understanding, some things that I haven't quite thought of, but had an inkling of maybe this is a possibility of how the universe works. It's been a subject that has fascinated me for a very long time. More and more, I got a little bit more comfortable with what I was doing, so I started to share with some of my friends who are quite open to this work. And we went on a little adventure talking about where it might come from. After cruising the internet for a little while, I came across a language, and it wrote Urdu. And to be honest, sorry for my lack of knowledge, but I had no idea what Urdu was as a scripted language. My curiosity kind of stopped there because I didn't really know what to do with it. Time passed even more, and I just had this knowing, and I started to say, I have this scripture inside of me that has been burnt centuries ago, and this needs to come to life. It needs to come out. And it kept getting more elaborate. This is the really eerie part. It said this scripture was burnt down, and it will rebirth when the men and the lineage who burnt this down will watch the world burn. I don't know how that sounds to you, but to me, that was so heavy. And I just heard myself say this for a good week or so. And again, I didn't really know what to do with it. What would you have done? This was around early May. And on May 7th, I just had this moment before I went into class to teach. I'm a part-time teacher. As I sat down and I was going over my notes to teach over class, I started writing out these scribbles. As I'm writing it through, I just captured it and put it on my Instagram stories. People started asking me, what is this? I gave a quick reply, just something I've been writing out. That night, a friend called around 2 a.m. And after we had our long chat, he asked me the same question. Oh, by the way, what was that you posted? He screen captured one of the moments and ran it through ChatGPT. I don't know why I haven't thought of it sooner. And then he said, Jane, this is Urdu, and this is the script that my ancestors used. And then he said, Jane, I screen captured my conversation, and I think you really need to see this. And I'm going to read it out to you, a shortened version. Where is it? This is what it said. The script in the image appears to be Urdu. It is written in a Perso-Arabic script, which is cursive and flows from right to left. The script is used for several languages, including Urdu, Persian, Farsi, and sometimes Pashto. I hope I'm saying that right. He went a little bit further to ask to translate it. And it says, the handwriting in the image is quite cursive and partially obscured, which makes it difficult to accurately transcribe or translate the full text. However, I can make out that it's written in Urdu using a flowing Nastaliq script style, commonly used for poetic or personal writing. From what is visible at the top, the repeated phrase seems to be, whoever died is dead. What is dead is dead. And then he told me, do you know what happened today? There was a war started between India and Pakistan, which are the two countries that use Urdu. It felt eerie. As I'm speaking, I'm still getting chills. What are the odds? I want to stop you there. I really sat with this and tried to ask myself, is this something that I want to lean into? And because he screen captured a very partial part of it, I ran the translation for the full text, and ChatGPT said, instead of the whole dead piece, it said, even after meeting again and again, it still feels like you are far away. It seemed quite poetic. So I continued to lean in. Since then, I've gone back and forth. I've been sharing my process, trying to explain it, trying to ignore it, trying to make sense of it, and here's where I landed on. I have really tried to grapple with religion and consciousness for a very long time, and there's not one specific angle that I stay put in. I've tried, whether in any subject, to try to look at things from multiple angles, and I've really waited to hold out on a belief. So it's been decades of me trying to understand the human brain, the consciousness, biology, psychology, ideologies, and I don't have the full explanation, but I can share my full experience until now to try to explain it in my own way. Even though I try to look at things from multiple angles, I am human after all, and I have my own perception and experiences that guide me. It has made me question how much of what we do is truly conscious, and how much is just waiting to be noticed. I'm opening up and I'm sharing it with you, not because I have the answers. I'm just a messenger. I still don't have the full explanation, but what I can do is I can share all my experiences and my knowledge for me to get here. And maybe you can share your perception and your feelings through my stories. I'm aware that it might rattle some people. It took me a while to really open up about this because I'm worried that it will cause positive and negative feedback. I really hope that you can just listen with an open mind and an open heart. I'm cautiously opening up to whoever wants to listen, and as you can see, and even speaking about this is making me emotional, but as you can see, this journey has been really difficult. And really alien, and let's say difficult to digest. And to push myself to share this, I hope that you can encourage me rather than to bash me for just my personal experience. There's a lot of beautiful ideologies. I'm not forcing this on anybody. I think there's just messages waiting to be heard, and I'm just a messenger. I understand that there's 120 pages of script that's wanting to come out. I've read maybe 13 pages, and I believe that there's a value in documenting this personally, even if it doesn't make perfect sense yet. Thanks for watching, and if this has sparked anything in you, confusion, curiosity, even a wait, what? Please drop it in the comments, and because I'd love to know how you make sense of this. And if you want to see more of this story unfolding, hit subscribe and we'll figure it out together as we go. Okay, bye.